Let's hear it for Richard Linklater.
Thank you. So before I bring the cast out, I just want to thank a few people. Thank you, Janet, again, for having us. Thank you. It's just always so cool to watch a film at the Paramount. We just love it here. You know, that was great. And I also want to thank the other Paramount in my life, who's Paramount Studios, distributing the film, and my producers, Megan Ellison. It was really hard to get this movie made. I've been trying to make this movie for a long time, and I just feel so grateful to finally get it made. And I just want to thank Megan Ellison, Paramount, my other producers, Ginger Sledge, Stephen Feeder, John Sloss, a couple department heads here. My editor, Sandra Adair, is here. Production designer, Bruce Curtis. Casting director, Vicki Boone is here. So Mike Sines, another editor. I think that I'm forgetting a few people. But anyway, without further ado, I want to welcome back to the stage my cast. Come on out here.
Idiot, bad idea.
We've got a few minutes for Q&A, but I'm going to start with the first one. So who is the best ball player of the bunch?
Let's see. But let's see.
Oh, sorry.
Besides me, no.
Glenn.
You know what? Can I say this? Casting this movie, they're all athletes. Some of them didn't play baseball, but I was looking for that kind of swagger that you get with a young, entitled athlete. And every one of them has that. Some played basketball, and it was so fun. Because, you know, everyone says, we were casting the movie, that, oh yeah, I can play ball. So the next thing was like, okay, well, put yourself on video. Skills, throwing and hitting, just let me see it. And they all sent in videos and things. Except this guy, Tyler. He sent in some ESPN footage from him playing, so I think he's the highest ranking.
Streeter's up there. Yeah. UT.
Yeah, played for UT.
Longhorns.
Ryan Guzman, the guy who isn't here, the one guy in the cast who isn't here, he's in production or something. He played some college ball. Well, you know, what? I don't think we answered your question, Gene.
Well, the casting, of course, is so phenomenal. So can you actually talk more about that more?
Well, you know, it's a big ensemble. So you're looking for unique, people who will really stand out. And a lot of it's kind of, I mean, we all like live together for 3 weeks out at my place in Bastrop. I have this bunkhouse, so you guys feel free to jump in here anywhere you want. It's you guys who were living together. I was like, but so we just kind of bonded and rehearsed and rewrote, a lot of the script and just kind of workshopped it, I guess. So that's when brought out I think individual characteristics of each guy and just tried to make it, let them bring themselves to it to a large degree. So. Well, that's the fun part, and a challenge, a big ensemble.
I'm hoping that this was a big moment for you and great, and I'd love to hear what it was like to watch this with this audience here. Just pass the mic down.
Yeah, here. Anybody.
I feel like this Q&A is very representative of what it was like working together in the very beginning. It's no one really wanted to steal the show in the ensemble, which is a great thing. Everyone was just constantly pushing everybody else, so that's kind of what it feels like right now. No one wants to take the mic.
Evan Heckman did it.
It's kind of what it feels like.
Well, it was pretty incredible, man. I mean, I had never played a lick of baseball in my life, and we had some vets here. Oh yeah. Told him, I'm sick, Rick. I'm sick. Trust me.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, but everybody here was in on the brotherhood equally. I'd never been around a group of people who's just as caring for one dude as the other. So it was we were all in it together, 100%. So it was awesome.
Zoe?
Well, I learned how to be a damn fine wing woman amongst all these handsome men. I felt like more of a dude than all of you at times. I feel like you guys might agree. But no, to answer your question, watching it was spectacular. Yeah.
Yeah, there's it's one of those special moments where it's a film that I think we're all just so incredibly proud of. So to be able to share it and to be able to talk about it with passion and pride that's not forced is like a really incredible thing. So I think we're just happy to do that.
The main thing I learned is you can't judge people by the pictures you see on the internet, because I saw Blake's haircut and I thought I would hate him. Straight up. I was 100% confident I would hate him. But he's a great guy.
Oh my
great
God.
guy.
Thanks, man.
Shit's coming out.
I'm not going to follow that up. What's the question? What are we on now? Where are we at?
Well, the question was if you want to talk about what it was like to watch this film now with this audience.
Oh, it was
tonight,
incredible
you know?
watching in Austin, Texas with an audience. You guys were awesome. Give yourself a round of applause real quick, please. I mean, you know, it's what we've all been waiting on. It's what we were saying, you know, about an hour before the film. Is this is crazy. This is sort of the end of the line for us in this project and the start of this project for you guys. So it's great to kick it off with a bunch of Texans. Hoorah.
Yeah, can I say there was a lot of Texans in the cast? All Texans take a step forward. A lot of you. Yeah. Okay. Not to put down the other guys. You guys are cool too. You know, it's just, yeah. Hey, and can I acknowledge, before I forget, my own college teammates and roommates, quite a few of them are here tonight. So Bearcats, where are we? Just stand up.
Where you at?
Stand up
Where you
you
at?
are. I think you're in the balcony a lot. Those guys. They're all in the balcony. That's what was going on up there. Okay.
Well, unless anybody else wants to jump in who didn't get a chance.
Yeah, I
wanna
guess
move ahead?
I got the mic, so I guess I'll go. But that was our fifth time seeing it, and that was the best crowd ever. You guys rocked. That was incredible. It was really good. We went and saw it at the Marquesa, and you guys were like laughing at every joke. That was awesome. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
Made me feel normal. Yeah, it was a good, I mean, like, the only thing I wanted to say was that, like, you know, you always, like, when you get onto a set as an actor, you're coming in, and I was a ball player, so you're always kind of like being like, dude, I'm gonna be real, you know, I'm gonna be like a real person, I'm good, I wanna do that, you know, like, be like actor-y and cool, you know, and it turns out every single one of us was coming in saying the exact same thing. We were trying to sniff out the dude who's the bad one, and we couldn't find him. And so that was what was the truth of the whole group, is there was really not a bad apple, like a whole group of genuine people that you won't go, I got a new family. And it just showed, thanks to Rick. That's the truth, right?
That was. I think that was perfect. Yeah.
All right, questions from the audience.
We're good.
Yes, you're.
Why you had the best line in the film to me about embracing your inner strength. Who is the strangest one?
I'll repeat the question so that everybody can hear it upstairs. Wyatt
Yeah,
had the
give me
best
time to
line.
think.
Wyatt had the best line about embracing your inner strange, and so who had the most? Was the most? Who's the strangest?
I'm going to give the political answer, since we are in an election cycle, and say that it's all of us that have embraced our inner strange, including you in this room, because you guys responded to our strange so well. Everybody had their own moment. Everybody had their own way of bringing their inner strange to the character. That's actually the truth. And because everybody started off with who their character was as it was written on the page, and when we went into Rick's library and we all started to realize, like, wait a second, I think he like wants us to like improv. Like, I'll give it a shot. And then you start to find yourself and find who the character is. And you'd go home and sleep at night and talk to people, and they'd give you ideas, and you'd be like, hey, I got this great idea. What about if you did this? And everybody's inner strange formed a great energetic strange ball that you just saw thrown at the screen, and hopefully it came off without a hitch.
Question is that on the side? Is your hand up? Yeah.
Yeah, for What advice do you have for people who want to make it to the top of their filmmaking game but stay in Austin at the same time?
The question is, what advice does Rick have for people who want to hit the top of the filmmaking game but stay in Austin?
I don't know. Is that much of an ambition? I don't know. Lewis made this documentary about me. Go see that, and that'll be my answer. My answer will be in there somewhere. I don't know.
More anybody up top? Yes, go ahead. Sure. Stand up.
So I noticed you said you collaborated with the actors on writing it, but what did you write beforehand, and can you go more in depth about how you collaborated with them?
The question is the difference between the original script that Rick wrote and then the collaboration once the actors got involved.
A script. You don't get it made if there's not a script. But it was kind of like moving things around too. Like as we got into character, I was like, I don't think your character would say that, but that guy would. And then just moving things around. And I got to say, these guys were so generous, throwing stuff to the other guys. You know, I think in a lot of movies, there's a tendency, like there's a few, the guys with the most words, and then everyone else can kind of get lost. I'd say the 6, if you divided it, maybe the 6 less written parts really came up in this process we described. Those parts really got bigger, their presence. So no one sort of disappeared out of the movie. That can happen. And I think that's because of the generosity of, you know, the ones with probably more lines who were giving. You know, it was really a wonderful team effort. You know, it's kind of the best ensemble experience I've had in that way, for sure. Just to have a team, and you know, we fell into like baseball. I was the coach, and we had a goal, and we were just there to support one another. You know, when guys weren't shooting, they would still come to the set. The last thing we did, remember we were in the car. It was like 3:40 in the morning, freezing cold, and it was really just you. We were in the back seat of the car. We owed that shot, and the whole look up, and everybody's there. Just to be there at the end. But that's how it was. Everybody was just totally there for each other. And, you know, that's what you want for your baseball team and your ensemble, you know, to be there for each other.
On the aisle, yes. Black shirt, go ahead. Stand up so I can hear you.
Yeah, it's just like from the honky-tonk to pool to punk bar, all that, and it's just so the Austin personality. And then also with the music, not choosing obscure stuff, but choosing the stuff that like we love. That song, that moment. You know, I'm just wondering if you had a talk on how you kind of delved into Austin 80s and revisited that and brought it back.
The question was how great a lot of the locales were, how Austin the music was, and wanting to hear about how.
You know, we filmed it here in Central Texas. I think the farthest away we got, the baseball field is in Weimar, so that's pretty far away, near LaGrange. But actually this movie's set, if you look closely, it's set in Southeast Texas. That's the name of the school, Southeast Texas State, this school we made up. But, and for me, it was based on my own experience in East Texas at college. So I think the thing that's most Austin-based to me was I remember taking a road trip my freshman year of college to Austin, and that's where I wandered into Raoul's, and that punk club is kind of an homage to that. So that's probably the single most Austin thing from my own experience. But yeah, it's still kind of an Austin, you know, locations and all that. So it was really fun recreating all that, the disco and the country bars and all that.
Before we forget, you're going to be on a panel tomorrow. For those of you with badges, you're going to be at a South by Sports panel tomorrow at 12:30.
Yeah, South by Sports. You know, they have South by everything. They got South by Sports now.
Well, which means what that means actually is that because this is part of South by Sports track, it means that interactive badges can actually come into this film as well. The film's playing several times through the festival, so you know, please spread the word. So it's packed out. But tomorrow at 12:30 at the Four Seasons, Rick and one of his original team members and one of these team members are going to be talking about.
Tyler's going to be on it, yeah.
Okay, Tyler.
Baseball, film,
right.
whatever.
Any more questions? All right, go ahead.
You talked about this, Rich, being based on your own experiences, and as an artist, I find that the more personal a story is, the more universal it is. And I think it showed with me with this, because I don't like disco or country or baseball, but I
That's completely legitimate. I didn't necessarily like all that either, you know. At the time, you know, you would say, I told the guys, because they were like asking about the music, I said, you would never admit to liking disco. You'd probably have a t-shirt that said disco sucks. But you would go there, you know, chasing ladies, and you just go there socially. So you kind of didn't admit to liking much of it, but you were there, you know, so. That's what college felt like to me.
For those who couldn't hear, he was also just talking about how the personal worked for him universally because he loved it, even though he hated all the...
Yeah, and truthfully, almost everything in this movie, in one way or another, really happened. The only thing I borrowed from someone else was the getting taped. We had a cyclone fence with kind of an ivy wall, but that happened to a friend of mine at his school in Louisiana. But I thought that was just a funny image, guys duct taped to a wall. But you needed a wooden fence, which, you know, there's less of those around. That's why we drove all the way to Weimar when we found that field. So.
When will people be able to see this film?
Oh, it opens April 1st in some places and then kind of rolls out after that. So April 1st. Tell everybody to go.
Maybe 2 more, yes? Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Hi. So, which character do you see yourself most as, like, college years? And then which character was most like the actor?
What?
Which actor was most like their character? And then which one?
Oh, okay. It's Rick.
Which
Rick.
one is most
But the question is, which of the characters was most like Rick, and then which of the actors was most actually like their character?
We're going to put this up for a vote. Which of you is the most like your character?
Brumley.
Brumley? No. That's a joke. That's not really true. And I feel myself kind of scattered, you know, through everybody, really. I'm pretty close. But I think maybe as the freshman coming in and being in a situation where it's mostly an upperclassman team, that was probably, you know, Jake's, you know, showing up and not knowing anybody, that freshman thing. So on the team I was on, there was only about 3 freshmen who, you know, made it through the year. You know, there were... my roommate, who's, you know, Buter, he only lasted about 3 weeks of school. He was gone, so I had the room to myself all year. It was pretty good.
Great. One last question. We got it? All right, go ahead. Up. Yeah, I can't see the balcony, but go ahead, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are we allowed to ask specific questions to the actors?
Yeah, please do.
Zoe, I have a question for you. I'm a senior in high school.
Uh-huh.
Would you go to my prom with me?
You gotta do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. I'm not wearing heels, though. That's not happening. Sneakers only. That cool with you? Okay.
I'm actually going to go with one more after that. So, okay, you in the corner here. Yeah.
What was it like living in 1980?
Question is, what was it like living in 1980? And start at the end, because we haven't been able to hear the guys on the, all the way on the end first. Yeah.
I don't even know what the question was.
What was the question?
What was it like living in 1980?
I mean, we woke up, every morning we were listening to a soundtrack put together by Rick that was just full of music from 1980. The set and everything on it, we couldn't high five because high fives weren't even part of 1980 at that point. We had to high five and hug in a very specific way. Rick wouldn't let us act up on that, so we had to love each other in 1980, which is, it presents its own set of problems, you know. But I gotta say, you know, Rick is all about authenticity. We call him Rickopedia because he's so accurate with every bit of knowledge. We were like, oh, what if we dropped this song in? He's like, nah, that was in 1981, I think August 26th. And we're like, shit, damn, Rick. So Rickopedia kept us in line, so that's how we lived in 1980.
Disco dancing in the morning.
Disco, yeah, tell them about it.
Tell him,
Get it, bro.
Go. Huh? Go for it, bro.
What's up, Austin, Texas?
That was cool.
I felt I would go home and I wouldn't like to look at my cell phone because like there was just something more peaceful about it. Like it was just a.
Nobody's calling you anyway.
50% of it. No, like it was very authentic. I felt like, and it was like a weird thing. I felt like I tapped into like my old mom and dad's memories. Like my zygote form was like alert. But I really enjoyed it. And I love Rick. I love everyone.
I think it was just crazy because it was kind of beat into us too, because we would go to 4 hours of dance class every day. So we'd be doing disco and country dancing and all that. So that was kind of just beat into our minds.
And baseball practice right afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't 1980 on the ranch, but in his game room where we would go at night, it might as well have been 1980. Like just ping pong. It was the most competitive, non-competitive group of people I've ever been with. Like you were playing them and be like, I hope you win. Like it was like a very strange competitive nature, but we still all like had it ingrained in us. That was a great time.
I just had to figure out what 1980 was like in this really weird section of Detroit where these weirdos hang out, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, polyester. That's it. But I mean, you wake up at 8 a.m. and you get in a band with a bunch of your dudes who are friends, and you go straight to disco, and then you leave and you go straight to baseball practice, and then you head straight to Rick's Ranch and you have mandatory swimming fun time. It was smooth.
This has been such a thrill for us. I speak on behalf of everybody, certainly on behalf of the South by Southwest Film Festival. We couldn't have had a more exciting opening night film to celebrate.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Linklater.
Thank you.